Think about how cultures historically have always looked to the mountains for vision, and it's time to look to the mountains once again, not only because they're vulnerable, but also because they could become the sites of hope for any regions. Because if mountains, as the most impoverished communities around the world, can figure out how to build resilient communities, right, then they really can influence and inspire communities elsewhere. And so we want to provide the energy, the graduate students who can get things done, for the organizations that can enliven the goals of the UN Mountain Partnership, that can fill in the map that Carreño and her crew has to think about in terms of North America, Central America, Caribbean, to show what's possible in that region, and then bring that to the United Nations Mountain Partnership and show beacons of hope from our region, right, starting right here in the Rockies. And so I want to share with you just a couple brief examples of what's possible with these master's projects. And so we have one of our graduate students who, in theory, will have a master's degree 2 months from now. This is Hedda Peterson. Go ahead and share what you're working on.
Sure. So I guess to start, what really drew me to this program was its requirement to do an applied project. And I came to this program with background and passion for private land conservation. So I've worked 6 years now at the Crested Butte Land Trust as stewardship director, and that passion paired with the required applied project led me to working with the Land Trust Alliance. They're a national conservation organization, and in particular their recently formed Land and Climate program, and that has been designed to help land trusts across the country address climate change through their work. So what my project now has done is helping them address their need. That Land and Climate program is growing, and in the next years they're looking to engage the Southwest land trusts. They've worked heavily on the East Coast and also in the Pacific Northwest with climate initiatives in land conservation. So my project has entailed doing a large-scale analysis of looking at what the opportunities but also barriers are to land trusts across the Southwest in incorporating climate science into both on-the-ground stewardship work as well as acquisition planning.
Great. Thank you, Hedda. And then we have Stephanie Lean here, formerly Peace Corps volunteer in Ethiopia, and fell in love with the mountains of Ethiopia there. And she's working on a project in Puerto Rico she wants to talk about.
Yeah, so in Puerto Rico and other island countries rely on the mountains for a source of fresh water, and my passion is air quality. So my project is going to focus around monitoring air quality in Puerto Rico, setting up an air quality monitoring station to be able to empower the people to monitor the air themselves, which can play a role in ecosystem health. If you have poor air quality, that's going to change the composition of your soil and the plants around it, which will in turn affect their fresh water supply. So being able to monitor that and be able to take steps in the future to mitigate that is going to be really important.
Ethan White, another former Peace Corps, or returning, you're called returning Peace Corps volunteer. Yep. Fiji. Contemplating various projects.
That's right. Yeah, so my name's Ethan White. I'm a first year MEM student, right at the end of my first year, so I'm going through this process now that John was talking about of identifying this project for my second year. AmeriCorps alumni, returned Peace Corps volunteer, and really came back to the States. I'm just a good old Kansas boy, and came to Gunnison and found a place of renewal and peace in the mountains, as I no doubt many of you can connect with as well. My passion is helping mountain communities attain, as they see it, food sovereignty, and helping build resilient communities that, again, they want to, in a way that they want to achieve.
Great, and then local hero, Jake Birchmore, who up in this area, is a junior in college, entering into our master's. You can do your first year of the master's in your senior year, and then add a fifth year to earn your master's. He's going to talk about some work we're going to be doing in the Himalayas this summer.
Yeah, so my name's Jake Birchmore, grew up in Telluride, and what we'll be doing in India is really learning so much from their culture, their livelihood, and their systems of resiliency and sustainability. I'll be traveling with 15 other students, masters and undergraduates, and with that comes a lot of cost. And so we've been working relentlessly to set up events at the school, work with crowdfunding. And so here I've got some flyers that you can read, and it'll tell you more about the course. And we'll be partnering with the Contemplation for the Foundation of Nature in Majkali, India. And that's in a rural community outside of the Himalayas, at the base of the Himalayas. Lots of water systems and high altitude agriculture. We'll be learning a lot about renewable systems, renewable energy, as well as documenting the trip. My passion lies within photography, filmmaking, and giving a voice to nature through art. So growing up in such a beautiful place, I've naturally been drawn to landscape photography, but I've been transitioning towards telling these stories for the environment, to really embed that indomitable spirit that mountain film really expresses, if anybody knows of mountain film. So,
heard of it, yeah.
With that, I yield my time.
He's also a student government senator, as you can see. So just to wrap this up, my colleague Corey Knapp and Abel Chavez put together a one-pager sort of describes mountain-based master's projects that have already been completed to help stretched organizations get that infusion of human intellectual energy, right, to get things done for them, to help those organizations, right, enhance the ecological, social, spiritual renewal of their mountain places. And so what we're really trying to seek here is that, we're proud of how this infusion of energy from our students can help organizations get across the tipping point of getting things done, right? But, to what extent is that driven by students going into debt, right? And so we want to get the best students on the planet doing the best work to fulfill the goals of Telluride Institute, Aspen International Mountain Foundation, and UN Mountain Partnership. We want the best, doing the best to fulfill these goals, transforming these places in a way that doesn't put them into further debt. And so that's really what this conversation is about, is how do we find the resources to find the best to do this work. So thanks.
Well, I just want to thank you all again for coming, and especially Pam and John for hosting this evening. I hope you'll stay and have more refreshments and food. I also just want to say how inspired I am by the work of these students and everyone who's supporting them, because education is very close and dear to my heart, and I really know and believe that you're our future. So thank you for helping us with this Mountain Futures effort.